Thursday across these United States of America. This is Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports as well. We're live here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll take your phone calls, 877-853-5247. That meeting ID, Esports Extra. That is 377-678-9872. For the first time in history, folks, since we started the show in April, I said the numbers and everything without looking down at my script. Coach K, I've remembered the name and the number now. This is pretty cool. It's a seminal moment here, man, for all of us here on Esports Extra. Got a nice little gaggle here, a nice little crew here. We're rolling with new royalty here. We got the queen of Esports Extra for the day, anyway. She's Kelly Wells Brinkley. You might know the name, at least Wells. She's one of the fastest human beings on Earth with an F, Kelly Wells. Tell us about your biography, girl. Wax Poetic, talk to him.
Man, I'm just here, 2012 Olympian. I won the bronze medal from the 2012 Olympics in the 100-meter hurdles. HBCU champion in a million different events. US champion in the 100-meter hurdles, 55-meter hurdles. All around sports guru, fashion guru. I will argue anything to the bottom of my feet. I'm just here. I'm here to shake up and take over.
Oh, wow. Take over. Okay.
Little black girl magic. You see it? Magic?
Yes. We do thank you for joining us. HBCU alum of where? Tell America.
The illustrious Hampton University, the only HU that would ever matter. But we'll give the other HU a little
Pirates.
Up.
Kevin, our producer, Kevin went to the other HU.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, we'll ride with y'all because y'all are doing some major things in the media these days.
Come on.
Major things. So we'll high five y'all.
Well, speaking of HBCUs, we'll get to more of this with the MEAC Esports. We've done a lot of esports events, of course, with the HBCUs. We did the only HBCU first NBA 2K event back in July for John Lewis, the producers of the John Lewis Good Trouble movie, myself and Renee Montgomery, the two-time WNBA champ. We'll get into more of that. We got Willie minus the hoodie. You in the DF Dubs, bro?
Yes, sir. And it's not as hot as it's been for the last few days. I actually got out for a walk with my wife this morning. It was in the 70s and it felt chilly, but it was great.
Felt chilly. And
but it was good. But it was good.
Durham Worrell was late, but still has that baby face. Swimming down there in the Royal Palm Beaches off Okeechobee and everything else around there. Ponce de Leon, you swimming in the Fountain of Youth. How you feeling today, man? You feel good? Spry, young?
I'm feeling a little tired, but I'm ready to go. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Dude, you got the Fountain of Youth down there. You're supposed to be energized every day in West Palm Beach, man.
Man, I still got a 6-year-old, so.
Okay.
Hey, the struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Y'all want to tell a man with 4 kids that the struggle is real? Really? Is that what y'all want to tell me? You got 4 kids that the struggle is real? Y'all better get out of here, man. All right, y'all ready to go? Hey, we got a big show today. Let's do a big show today. We're going to try to get out here hour to an hour and 15 minutes. We're talking about the NBA playoffs, Clippers, Jazz, Sixers, and Raptors, and we'll talk about their series. Also going to talk about the Charlotte Hornets broadcaster, John. What the fuck's going on with John Falk? Focky down there. Not Meet the Fockers, but John Falk. Is it Falk or Focky? Does anybody figure that out? What is it? We want to take a vote here. What are you going with, D-Dubs?
Falk.
Falk? Me too. Yeah. What the fuck? Okay. Kelly, where you going with, Falk or Focky?
Falk.
Falk. Okay. Hey, Willie, what you got?
Fuck.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
We'll talk. It's not funny, actually, but it's not funny. But we'll dive into that. Some of the misfortunate comments that he had on Twitter and how you can sort of misconstrue a couple of words. We're going to dive into that. We'll talk about Des Bryant. Had a workout today with the Baltimore Ravens. See if Des can get back in the league. He hasn't played in, 3 years? Last time he was with the Cowboys? 2017, right?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Big Ten, we talked about this for months leading up to that historic announcement a week or two ago. Kevin Warren, the commissioner, full stop, guys. It ain't happening. They're not playing this fall. We'll talk about that. NHL going to do like the NBA, going to bring in some family members. We'll let you know the protocols and exactly what that entails. I'll tell you what, for a family member, damn, you got to go through the gauntlet to go see your loved one. We'll get into that. Also, we got Kelly Wills Brinkley here, 2012 bronze medalist in the London Olympics. We're going to talk about the MEAC esports. She is an analyst and a caster for them. She's making her foray into esports. Can't wait to get her thoughts on that. We'll talk NBA 2K League playoffs. We'll try to get OG Ivan Curtis, the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets gaming crew, playing right now, I believe. Real quickly, Durham, you're shaking your head. How did they do?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm hoping they did well.
Yes. We're checking scores.
We're all going to find out. He's going to call in. And then, of course, for certain, Coach K and myself compete forever on Black News Channel. We got to deal with the Black News Channel. We're going to be on episode 12 this weekend, right, Coach K? Episode 12. Polk State College. We did that show for that school last month. It's going to run on TV this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Black News Channel. You can get it on Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, also Charter, Spectrum Networks, cable networks. Also going to be joined, I think, another 25 million homes starting next month, according to my guy from NBC Sports, taking over Black News Channel, Prince Hill here. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. LA Clippers looked really good coming back after Porzingis got, of course, ejected from the game on Monday. Came back last night, man. Woo, Mavs put it over, man. The Zinger, also Luka Doncic, all those boys. How about Trey Burke? The Knickerbockers could use Trey Burke right now.
All of them.
Pretty good. Double-digit win over the Clips right now. So LA was clipped last night. I want to get your thoughts. We talked about the Lakers. We also talked about the Bucks. I got to ask you, and we'll start with the lady here. She looks better than all of us, and she's faster than all of us. We'll start with you, Kelly Wills Brinkley. Are you concerned with the Clippers in this series against the Mavericks?
I'm super concerned just because, first of all, this year is so wonky in the way that things have unfolded. There hasn't been much play for teams to get out lots of kinks. So that always, is a clear indication of, okay, we're seeing how the season is going and what's going to happen. So I'm very concerned about the Clippers just because of how they were projected to play and how they're playing now. It's just not leveling out. And yes, we can never go with just, projections, but sometimes projections are pretty indicative of what's going to happen. So I'm highly concerned. I was watching oh Lord, just because I pull for the Clippers like I pull for the Lakers, and I know they say
hold on, Kelly. We're not going to let you do this. Kelly, I live in the city now. Your husband played in the city. You can't root for the Giants and the Jets. You can't root for the Yankees.
Who says?
Kelly, we're not.
That's the rule,
Kelly.
I do though, because
Kels, pick a side.
I mean, I'm Lakers to my heart, but I look at just certain players that play for the Clippers that I really play for, because I'm never so much of a team, I love to see players that are close to my heart play well, and the players that I picked for my season, so it's getting a little touchy here.
All right, she did sort of lean nudgingly. She nudged towards the Lakers. Sounds like A. Willie, because he used to live in L.A., was a scout with the Phoenix Suns. A. Willie, we got to bring you in here. Your thoughts here. Your Clippers. I know you love the Lakers. You're a Laker lover. You're a Faker lover out there in La La Land.
That's where I grew up, man.
But your head told you to take the Clips. It went down last night. What is your concern level? We talked about this yesterday. How concerned are you with the LA Clippers and Doc Rivers and Kawhi and PG, who did not play well last night?
Well, one of the things that concerns me, of course, PG concerns me because his playoff performance can be up and down, up and down. And there is, and we've seen this before, there is a such thing as playoff Kawhi, and we're seeing playoff Kawhi right now. But you don't want to see too much of playoff Kawhi, right? You don't want him to have to carry the load when you have a Paul George. Lou Williams is playing okay right now, but they need Paul George. They need to be operating on all cylinders to win. They also have to make sure that they incorporate Montrezl Harrell also. And one of the things when you watch the Clippers from a defensive standpoint, here's where if the Lakers were to use AD properly and kind of mix it up inside out, it's where the Lakers' advantage is. So what happens with the Clippers is, from a defensive standpoint, if they're not getting rim protection from Zubats, if they're not getting rim protection from Montrezl Harrell, who averages 1.5 blocks a game, but bigger than that, you know what else he does? He's one of the league leaders in taking charges. So that's another way of protecting the rim also. If those guys aren't doing that, they're vulnerable. And so with that being said, like Paul George has to be better, and they have to be better defensively. They got to get something from whoever they have playing in the pivot.
And your boy, the Zinger, Kristaps Porzingis, covered him here with the Knicks. He played like AD should play, a little inside and outside. So it was a mixture of both. Had a lot of rim runs, some dunks. The big dunk, really, I thought, which was emphatic, that sort of spurred on the Mavs. Let's bring in D-Dubs. D-Dubs, Debbie Downer, what are you going to say?
I would be concerned if I'm the Clippers. If Paul George is not playing well, as you know, A has said, he's up and down. I was impressed with Dallas even before this game when they played Portland, the way they're able to shoot from the outside. They shot 50% from the field. Those guys can shoot. If LA doesn't do a better job playing some defense and they don't get better production from Paul George, they're going to have issues. It's going to be a long series. Also, the bench for Dallas chipped in and did very well. A lot of those ex-Knicks players are really propelling Dallas, and it makes me sick to my stomach that we can't hold players and they go elsewhere, and they're like all world.
You know what that speaks to, D? What that speaks to is
that management in New York.
but you know what else it is? It's virtually every guy in the NBA. Their situation is just as important as their talent. So when you're playing off of Luka Doncic, you're playing off of Kristaps Porzingis, and Doncic is so good in pick and roll because you got to play him as a decision maker and as a scorer. When you have guys like that, it allows those guys to only do what they're good at, right? So Tim Hardaway just makes shots, right? And then when they put Trey Burke in the game, because like you said, D, they can shoot the ball so well. You know what this is for Trey Burke? This is Michigan all over again, because they would put the ball in his hands and they would spread the floor with those shooters with Stauskas and Hardaway, et cetera. And it's the same type of game. So he's in a situation that's pretty familiar to him when he was in college. So it's the same deal. Situations are everything, man, with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 players in the NBA that could have played with me at Brandeis.
There he goes with Brandeis. We'll see what the Clippers can do. Tied at 1. I will say this. My concern level is a little higher for the Lakers. They're going to play tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, down to the Blazers. That 16-7 run to end the game the other day. So we'll see about that. I think the Clippers are going to be okay. But look, they're just like the Lakers. They're playing a team that can freaking score. They're going to take their pound of flesh from you. It's the Western Conference. These are teams. They're going to. You're not going to stop them. So it is what it is, and I agree with all of you guys on that. We'll keep it out west, and we'll talk about all that jazz. Utah came back. Donovan Mitchell, 3rd highest scoring playoff game ever, I believe it, right? If I'm not mistaken, on Monday night behind Jordan and Elgin Baylor, right? He had 57. Was that what he?
57.
57. Wow. Yeah, 63 and 61 for Elgin Baylor and Michael Jordan, respectively there. Jazz got it done last night against the Nuggets. Will that help them sort of, I don't know if they'll win this series. Will that help them extend this series? Who do you like in this series going forward? You like the Nuggets or you like the Jazz? We'll go with Kelly Wills Brinkley first. Kels?
Jazz, all day Jazz.
All that Jazz.
Yeah.
Why? Why you like the Jazz?
Watching them play, that I really like how they spread their scoring out. And I think that is very important with like winning the series, that you can't just have a main scorer because that is easy to scheme for. It's easy to play for. So when you have a team that spreads out scoring, that makes them a lot harder to beat than a team that you know where the scoring is coming from.
Yeah, good point there. D-Dubs, you look at the Nuggets, they got to be breathing a sigh of relief. They went into overtime, gave up 57 to Spider. Donovan Mitchell the other day. If you're the Nuggets, you got to be thinking, man, we're lucky we're not down 2-0.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
You got to count their blessings. But I'm going to go with the Jazz, too, as well in this series. It won't be easy. I think it'll be a long series. But they're another team that shot extremely well from the perimeter. Their stars are making plays. They're getting good all-around play. And if I'm not mistaken, this is almost like the 4-5 matchup. So sometimes with those 4 or 5 matchups, it's like a toss-up. You never know. But it should be a good long series. But I'm going to go with the Jazz.
Hey, Willie, the former NBA scout here, Phoenix Suns. You see, you were there when they were building that thing with Devin Booker and those guys. Break this down for me. Who do you like? I still believe slight lean towards the rich, creamy Nuggets. 6-piece, by the way. I got to go with them right now. But, man, I ain't going to lie, man. It would not surprise me if Utah won the series. But I'm going Nuggets.
No, I agree. I'll still go Denver because I don't expect Jamal Murray to have 14 points again after he had that great game one. So when you're looking at him, you're looking at that evolution for him getting into that upper echelon of players in the NBA. This is part of it. Donovan Mitchell had that big game and then followed in game one, followed it up with another big game in game two. And then Jamal Murray had a big game in game one. And then, of course, the Jazz were going to adjust, and he wasn't able to bring that performance to sustain that in game two. And that's part of when you're making that jump to being a great player. You have to do that consistently. So one of the things, too, that stuck out to me with Utah, again, situations are everything. Jordan Clarkson has been amazing for the Jazz since he got there. Right. And so this is a guy that when he was in LA, when he was in Cleveland, people questioned his shot selection. Right. But then he goes to Utah and he's being the best version of himself. So he's shooting almost 50% from the field, doing a great job. And then to Kelly's point, what Utah did, which was great, they had in their starting lineup, Royce O'Neal had 8 assists, Donovan Mitchell, 8 assists, Joe Ingles, 6 assists. So from those 3 guys, yeah. And Joe is playing the other thing too. Joe actually, as great as Bojan Bogdanovic has been for them, 20 points a game out of their starting lineup, Joe Ingles is actually better when he doesn't play. So this is the Joe Ingles that we saw before they signed Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
Right? So he's back into that.
He had some nice moments last year in the playoffs for the Jazz. So you're right.
Yeah, but he's better when they don't, because he plays kind of that role that Bogdanovic plays, right? So he's a better fit with what they do. So with that being said, just the fact that, as Kelly was saying, that they were sharing the ball that way. And then I expect more from Jamal Murray. I expect a lot more.
All right. Good stuff. Let's talk Eastern Conference. Now we'll get to these 2 games that were played on a Wednesday night. Sixers, I think probably their only chance was to maybe try to steal game one. It was close. Celtics came back and took that, and then, of course, last night, probably the biggest blowout of these playoff series so far. Won by 20-plus points last night. Jason Tatum clowned around on those guys last night, man. Siege looked pretty good without Gordon Hayward. Getting some great contributions from some of these other guys that are playing. The one thing I worry about the Celtics, they just don't have size, but man, they got everything else. They got depth. They move the ball, high assist. Got 2 young good stars. Got Kemba, who they really trying to just get through these playoffs without wearing him down with the bad will there. Man, the Celtics look good. I told you that was my squad. Hey, Willie, I told you, man. I told you what you got to say about my teams now.
You went out on a limb, Larry. You worked at Boston. Yeah, come on, man. Stop it.
Up 2-0, baby. And the most impressive game of these playoffs so far. Now what?
Hey, Willie? You're right.
Hey, you asking me? Oh,
yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay. No, it's one of the things too that they've been fortunate to draw as well, and they're playing really well. So I don't want to take anything away from them.
But don't do that.
But they've been fortunate enough to draw a Philly team that's in peril. Right, this team was in peril before we had the suspension in play, trying to figure some things out with roles, do the pieces fit, etc. And now we're in a situation where we're seeing that even more. This team is in peril. And the biggest thing is Joel Embiid, minus his body language yesterday, has actually been really good in these first 2 games.
He had 34.
He's been really good.
I'm not worried about this. I'm like,
if
Joel can give you 34 and 10, and y'all still give me by like 25, put in the bag, dog. It's over.
Yeah. Well, because if you look at it, that whole their pairing with Al Horford, that doesn't seem to match, right? And then, of course, they don't have Ben Simmons. And then also, too, you look at some of the other pieces in the league that really fit with them that are in other teams, Marco Bellinelli, JJ Redick, et cetera. They really, really miss those guys.
Yeah.
And so, watching them play, that team is in peril. I don't know if I panic if I were Philly in terms of breaking Embiid and Simmons up. I don't know if I pull the plug on it this quickly, but that team is certainly in peril.
You might have another year. It's getting to that point where we've seen this thing now for about 3 or 4 years now. It's like, okay, can you get past the second round in 4 years? If I told you 4 years ago, you're going to have these 2 guys and you will never make it past the second round, you probably be like, okay, what the hell are we doing wrong here? Good draw for the Celtics, no doubt, D-Dubs. But still, to go out there and still smack them around and not play around, that tells you a lot about Boston, who was also missing probably their third best player too now.
Well, their starting five is playing well, and to A. Willie, why wait another year? If you have to look at who is in your division, who you have to match up against, and they could potentially get swept. So
because you know why I say that? Because of how difficult it is to get that type of talent, right? Because you imagine when the Lakers put Kobe and Shaq together, right? Mm-hmm. They were swept 3 straight years. Mm-hmm. 3 straight years. And then those guys got, of course, Kobe got better. Shaq was in his prime, but they also addressed the surrounding players as well. And they looked and say, you know what? It's easier for us to get those surrounding players and address those than it is for us to get transcendent talent.
Right.
It is hard to get
guys that can shoot. Like, I don't know why they traded.
They had them and didn't pay them. They had them.
Well, you better find. Well, it's hard to find cheap shooters, but
they had them and didn't pay them.
But at least Kobe does his thing on the perimeter. He can shoot. Ben and Joel, it's
gotta be able to shoot.
If it doesn't fit, you gotta quit, man. Right? It doesn't fit. Kelly, get in here. Your thoughts here on the Sixers, man. Look, Ben Simmons is not playing, so I'm going to give them a mulligan on this postseason. But now we get to next year, and it's like, all right, we're here for year 5. What are we doing? At some point, you got to start winning some games.
No, I completely agree with. I think there's like that one more year kind of grace period to see what's going to happen and how the pieces are going to unfold. Because yes, if you have your mainstays, that is positive, but you have to build those surrounding cast around them, because that is very, very important. They may not be the big names, but they are people that can support your mainstays, because you have to build a complete team, because you got to kick the ball to somebody at some point. And I think that, you have to build a team. So I think that they're at that critical point of, what, or get off the pot. And we're at the close to the pot. But like with the Celtics, since I was young, like Celtics have always played great playoff ball. Like they are very, very clutch. So to see, the game last night and how it unfolds, I think it's very cyclical of the town, of the feel. And yes, there may not be fans around, but you play with pride and nobody plays to lose. So I think that, the Sixers we're at that turning point now. What are you going to do? You're going to man up or, get manned. And right now they're getting manned.
Fish or cut bait. It's funny you bring up pride. One of the chants that the Celtics use in Boston, a lot of the fans, they call it Celtics pride. That's where a lot of that's where that came from. So you're absolutely right there. Green team looking good. I'm not going to pat myself on the back like Barry Horowitz. WWE
the wrestler. I remember.
I'm not going to do that. But they're halfway there. I am concerned, though. Hopefully they can get Gordon. They're going to need Gordon Hayward if they want to knock out Toronto or Milwaukee. And it looks like they're heading collision course with Toronto, we're about to talk about right now. We'll start with you, A. Willie here. Toronto Raptors came back. They were down in the fourth quarter. Nets are just scrappy. You got to give the Nets credit, man. Like, they've been scrappy in this bubble. I've seen them get their ass beat, and I've seen them win some games. But whatever the circumstance is, Karis LeVert plays well. They do a good job. My buddy Jacques Vaughn, who was in Orlando when me and Kelly were there, and after the Dwight Howard fiasco when we were all there.
Ella, you know what city he's from?
Oh, man.
You know where he's from. Boy. John Muir High School.
Where is that at? What city?
You know what city it's in.
Go ahead and say it.
Where is it?
LA.
Say it.
Not that LA. The real LA. The one that matters. Hey.
But ladies, America, look at him. He's got a Chi-Town shirt on. So
play all over the place.
Fakers, man. That's why I said fakers. You know what I'm saying? He's repping LA. Took down the LA jersey. Took down the Kobe jersey. Got the J's up there.
Because I switch it out. I switch it out.
You ain't real. We'll start with what do you think about the Raptors last night coming back, getting that win? Fred Van Vliet playing very well for them. Van Vliet.
No, he is. And when you watch them, and I'm saying this is a little, I guess this is point guard bias here when I say this. As
he's
a
about
point
to get
guard.
paid too, by the way.
No, again, this will be his third deal. So when you watch the Raptors play, and it's hard for teams, part of the reason why teams, especially when you see a team that the last time a team won a title with a point guard leading the league in assists was Magic Johnson. And that's because Magic Johnson can post up and spray the ball out the shooters, right? So you have point guards. If the ball sticks in their hands, you know what it brings? Predictability, right? So a defense can literally wall up and wait for the point guard to get the ball because they know the opposing team's offense doesn't do anything unless that point guard has the ball. Well, if you look at the Raptors, they play 2 point guards. So it makes it very versatile. The ball moves around. So the opposing team if Van Vliet's bringing it up, they have to, okay, he's a point guard. They have to play him as a decision maker. Then if Kyle Lowry brings it up, they have to play him as a decision maker as well. So that versatility that you have when you play 2 point guards, I don't know why more teams don't do it. And what that alignment is that's when you see a team down the stretch and during the game when they're trying to win, they just put their best playmakers in the game and they don't worry about positions. Well, the Raptors do it the entire game. And that's one of the things that makes them so tough. I don't know why more teams don't do it.
Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. You gotta have the players.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, what teams will go, this is our first point guard. This is our second point guard. This is our third point guard. People get so wrapped up in those positions. And it's like, man, play the best people that can make plays.
Right.
Let's get this thing going.
Well, you got to create that. I absolutely agree with you on that. Kelly, we bring you in here. Our Raptors look good. They were down by as many as 15, 16 last night?
I think 15.
Away. Yeah, kept chipping. I know at least at 14 because I know it was 26-12 or maybe it was 27-12 or something like that. But yeah, they didn't look very good early on. Like I said, we talked about a scrappy Brooklyn team, but they pulled it out in the end. And your boy Freddie Van Fleet looked pretty good in the fourth quarter there.
This is where my track background kind of comes into it, because watching the fitness of these Raptors and how they're exposing that, they are actually in shape. They may have started off a bit slow, but they came back and ramped it back up. And that is what I love to watch as an athlete, that they did not give up. They stayed with it. And when you press and you push a team and you push them past their threshold, you start to expose their weaknesses. And so then the Raptors come out completely on top. Like, they have the 2 point guards. You don't know where things are coming from. So it's hard to work with that. And when you run your offense the way that you want to run it, and you put your playmakers in there to run the plays that you have for you and your team, and if you focus on what you're doing every time you bring that ball up the court, they're just drilling it and drilling it. So you watch their fitness just rise to the top. And as a athlete, as a high level athlete, that's what I love to see, like the fitness level of teams come, because I think that teams are going to get exposed the longer we go into the playoffs, because it is such a short year and things are different. So I love seeing the fitness level of athletes and to know what they've been doing to prepare for these games.
D-Dubs, Raptors not playing like baby dinosaurs, man. Without Kawhi Leonard, still looking pretty good. You got because of the T-Rex, a little short arms. I see it, Kelly. You got Siakam still, Van Vliet. We talked about him. Kyle Lowry's playing well. Yeah. Hell, they might get further than the daggone Clippers. Wouldn't that be something? Kawhi leaves, probably one of the top 3 or 4 players literally in the league. Another team still makes and finds a way to get back to the finals. That would be crazy. But here they are. Right now, I wouldn't bet against them in the East.
If you're them, you're playing with a chip. Because once Kawhi Leonard, you would assume Toronto team, they're not going to be any good. They're not going to be as good. Those guys get paid too. Those guys have feelings. They have pride, and they're going to play. They're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Everyone's talking about Milwaukee. People are talking about Boston. But don't forget about us up here because we play in Canada. Don't forget about us. They're going to play with a chip. They got good guard play. And they're going to take care of their business. They want y'all guys to put some respect on their name. And they're not going to play around with Brooklyn right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they get them up out of there and wait for whoever's standing for that next series. So they're going to, so, they're not going to play. They're battle tested. Even though Kawhi's not there, they won a champion. They're the defending champs. So we got to respect them, even though a lot of people are not picking them. But I think I picked them, though.
Yeah, you did. Absolutely. No, and to your point, hey, Willie, he's right, because you look at it, a lot of these teams that are going to be underdogs, they basically got one game to try to steal and win. For the Sixers, it was game 1. Last night for the Nets, that was their game in game 2. Now it's got sweep written all over it. At best, a gentleman's sweep. 5 games.
No question, no doubt about that. I certainly agree with that. And then to you all's point about them being battle tested, we have to remember too, they were battle tested before Kawhi showed up. He made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without him.
Exactly.
Right. So with that being said, this team has it wasn't as if this team was an 8 seed or barely making the playoffs. Then Kawhi came, and then all of a sudden they make this miraculous run. This team was doing their thing and playing at a high level before he came. And so with that being said, they just built on that. Their young players got that experience early. We talked about this before. As a young player, you don't want your young players or your foundational pieces getting playoff experience when they're in their 5th, 6th, 7 years in the league. You want them primed to win a championship in their 5th, 6th, 7th year in the league, because that's when they're in their prime. And so with that being said, like OG Anunoby, again, getting that playoff experience early. Fred VanVleet getting that playoff experience early. All of that stuff just helped them, and it's a recipe for success, even when you look at them now.
We'll keep it in the NBA. We'll keep our eyes on the Raptors so they can close this thing out and get the sweep here over the weekend. John Fockey, a name we talked about, or Fock, meet the Fockers, whatever you want to call it. What the fuck was he doing? And what the fuck was he thinking?
Yeah.
I sent out that tweet the other day watching game one. Oh, Nuggets. What do you call them, Nuggets? You call them the N-word. Dropped the back paddle a little bit, made the apology and things of that nature. Just want to get your overall thoughts. Is it possible to misspell Nuggets and call it the N-word? Like, I'm trying. I put it in my phone. It's not working. I'm only one guy out of 8 billion in this country, in this world. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. Maybe you guys are smarter than me. Probably are. You guys see things differently than me. Can you get Nuggets out of the N-word? Is it possible?
Who's going to go first?
It is possible. You got there are a couple of G's there. There are a couple of G's there.
Well, I will say this. No, there's part of me that says, how could you make that mistake? Because normally autocorrect, it wouldn't come up.
No,
but then it doesn't. So, no. But then I thought about it and read what he wrote. That would be career suicide. And I don't believe that he did that on purpose. I don't believe it. I don't know the guy. I just don't believe that he did it on purpose. That's one. Number two, everybody that worked with him in Minnesota, even guys that worked at the Athletic, they have stood up for this guy and talked about his character and what kind of person he is. So I know with me personally, I'm always on Facebook. I write comments all the time. And there have been times I get lazy. I don't proofread what I wrote, and I hit send, and then later on I come back to it and say, oh man, I misspelled that, I misspelled it, and I'll change it. Before we did the show today, I went into my phone, and I said, well, I'm going to try something. I went and I spelled the N-word with E-R. Yep. Guess what came up?
What?
Nuggets. I also went and spelled it with, what is it? With an A, G-A. Guess what came up?
What?
Nuggets. So I'm like, wow, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. If the man said it was a mistake, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I think it was a mistake. He got lazy, he didn't read what he wrote, he hit send, and unfortunately, this is what happens.
Nope. When I put the N-word in my phone, it spells it. It does not go to Nuggets. I don't know, maybe because it's not in my history. I don't know, but that's why I want to be enlightened here.
Well, I screenshotted it, so I will send it to the chat after this show. I screenshotted both because I said I had to do that because I needed proof. But yeah, I screenshotted it.
Coach K, up for me. Go ahead. You're itching to get in here. Go ahead. Now, we talked about this last night. And
I got an iPhone.
I do too.
From an undisclosed source, I heard that only happens on iPhones.
The 11.
If you had an Android.
I got an XR.
10 XR. Hey, Willie, you got to bail us out here, man. I don't know, dude. I've thought about it. The more I'm hearing that too, that you put in the N-word with the ER, you get Nuggets. I do see the 2 Gs. There is some similarities there, but every time I put Nuggets in or the N-word in, the other word doesn't pop up. That's all I'm saying, hey, Willie.
It didn't do it for me because I tried it too, and it didn't do it for me. And one of the things immediately, because I don't know the guy either, so I started seeing the exact things that D referenced when you have Cheryl Reeve coming out and saying, hey, when he was working with us with the Lynx, this guy was the salt of the earth. And then Rebecca Brunson also, she co-signed it as a player for the Lynx, now a coach for the Lynx as well. She co-signed it and said, I just don't see this in his character. He's never he's never demonstrated this at all, and we've been around him in multiple settings. So you know, it's really tough. Like I said, I've never seen it come up when I've done that because I've typed the Nuggets plenty of times, whether it's doing scouting reports or
going to eat because I got kids.
Yeah, right.
Nuggets, and all they want to eat is nuggets.
Right. Doing scouting reports, talking about players on the Nuggets, talking about making a trade with the Nuggets, etc. It's never come up for me. I've never seen it.
Well, John Falk has been suspended by the radio broadcaster, play-by-play guy for the Hornets. Look, I don't like to advocate for people losing their jobs. I just want a little bit more transparency and just apologize. We all make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect, man. We all got, I can open up this closet. I got a bunch of skeletons in this, and I'm in a hotel room in Atlanta. There's closets. There's skeletons in that closet. All I'm saying is I don't get Nuggets and the N-word. And the shot making is crazy in this Jazz N-word game. Like, I don't know.
Larry,
I can't put it. D-Dubs, I've tried.
Larry, so if you're saying that, you're also saying that he did that on purpose. That's what you're saying. You believe he did it on purpose.
Boy.
That's career suicide.
No, I agree. I think it's career suicide. I don't know if I don't know the guy. Never met him. So I can't say if he did it on purpose.
That's the thing. I can't get into his head. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but my thought was, well, is it because I know that my iPhone remembers certain words that I write a lot?
Sure.
And it auto fills them as well. So could it have been that? But I don't know.
That's
buddy.
where my head went initially. Like, okay, he might not have meant to say it. I don't think he's dumb enough to do that.
I would hope.
But it seems like he's had some history with this, i.e. history in his phone. Maybe that's why I picked it up. Like in my phone, I put in the N-word. It doesn't say anything.
Right.
It doesn't.
Mine either. I don't
and
have.
I've been transparent. I actually, news alert. It's not news to America. I've used the word.
Right.
To my African American friends, people we go way back with, but it's like it's not in my phone. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Like I don't know what to say. This is one of those times I'm actually speechless. Like, really, like I'm just like, dude, Nuggets and N-word, nothing computes here. Nothing.
And then
he just sent the screenshot.
I sent the screenshot.
That means you're a dirty dude. It means you probably
no. Yo, I don't use that word. I'm telling you, I got an iPhone XR.
I got the 11, the big boy with the 3.
Yeah,
I see you, Big Money. We see you.
I'm not doing that.
Flexing.
No. I'm just saying it's not.
With your 4 cameras.
Oh wait, but
I don't even know how to use this thing anyway. But go ahead.
But are we going cancel culture on him?
No, we're not.
That's what's rampant these days. Like there's a slip up cancel culture. So are we going cancel culture on guy or are we not? What the fuck?
What? We're done with the Fockers or John Falk, not the Fockers, but John Falk.
And we talked about this. This is my problem with society is that when somebody does something wrong, we never go look at their body of work. We just look at, he did something wrong. Let's get him out of here. And when you got people who willing to stand up, put their neck out,
right?
I don't like cancel culture.
If people like the Minnesota T-Wolves and the Lynx are saying that this guy's character, they believe his statement, I gotta rock with them.
Well, I'm not cancel culture, but if you do something really dumb and you cross way over the line, we should cancel you. Like that Minneapolis police officer. Yeah, we need to cancel him.
Oh,
we need to do that.
He's
exactly. Yeah, 88 out the gate. Go ahead.
Well, to you all's point, I just say for me, and I'm certainly not, saying that he should lose his job, but I will say this about cancel culture. Part of the reason why it exists is because people have had to live under the circumstances or live under the guidelines of, let's say, that word it's been used and we've had to tolerate that for so long. Now people are at a point where, I don't want to tolerate that anymore. I don't have to tolerate that anymore. So at the same time, right, when we talk about looking at, okay, someone said something and they deserve there needs to be some retribution or some punishment or whatever the case may be. And we're seeing these things come out now. We just saw where a person that's a governor or a mayor in Virginia, what he referred to Kamala Harris as, right?
Don't
Yeah.
talk about my state. Relax.
My bad.
My bad.
But I'm saying though, like here we are in 2020, and
You're right, though.
we still have people using this language.
Sure.
So at the same time, there needs to be some accountability, right?
agree.
I mean, we just dealt with it with the Tom Brenneman thing as well. Like
Exactly.
Yes,
Talk
there
about that.
needs to
was
be some
worse.
accountability.
And
That was
I
bad.
give him credit that he addressed it immediately, did it on air, and it was thoughtful. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really am. Like,
Oh.
I like the way that he came back and he apologized. I'm open. It was open and it was transparent. Didn't back away from it. Hot mic, not his fault, but he didn't back away from it. Didn't throw the production people under the bus, which as a talent, Kelly, A-Will, D-Dubs, you know, what the hell is my mic doing open, dog? Really? Y'all going to throw me out like that? He didn't do all of that. So I give him props. Hey, Willie, when it comes to this boycott, cancel culture, I also think that you're starting to see like a sea shift a little bit where, you know, maybe some people on this side didn't like it, but now it's working for them, and now these people don't like it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. They didn't like it. They're okay with it, canceling and boycotting Nike when it was, you know, Colin Kaepernick. But now you start boycotting and canceling some of the things that they like and stand for, or some of the positions that they advocate for. Oh, let's not do this. Hell, boycotting and cancel culture, you're not going to get rid of it because it's effective at times. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. You just got to take it on, you know, individual basis. So we'll see how this goes on with John Fox. Not advocating for him to lose his job. I want him to get it back.
Neither am I.
Just a little curious, like, I don't know, nuggets and N-word. Not feeling that, to be honest with you. I'm just being transparent on that. Des Bryant, National Football League receiver. We haven't seen Des throw up the X since 2017 with the Cowboys. Tried to come back with the Saints last year, of course, tore his ACL. Had some injuries. Worked out with the Ravens. Is this a good fit for the Ravens? I know we've seen Lamar Jackson out there advocating for him. He's worked out with him. We saw Dez. We got pictures and some video of him working out on Instagram. I think this is a good fit. I think he's a big-bodied receiver, possession guy that they could use, a veteran in this offense. I like it for the Ravens. I think they should take a flyer on Dez if he's healthy. He looked pretty good. Now, it was against non-NFL DBs out there, but he ran some routes, looked crisp, and he looked good, caught everything. I say, you know what, bring him in, see if he can help you, especially if he's cost efficient, right? We'll start with you, Kelly Wells Brinkley first.
You know, I know Dez, and Dez needs to be in a system.
Flex by Kelly.
Dez needs to be in a system where he has some guidance. Because his thought process off the field is a bit immature. So he's gonna need a QB and a system that keeps him in line. And I think that, you know, maybe it would be a good fit there because there is a streamlined system and he's coming into a successful program because he's also not that great at losing. So he needs to be in a successful program that will cater to him a bit. And I think that, you know, receivers are needed. So I think that it could be a good fit. Now, what my question is he's been out of the league for a while. And it is a big difference in coming back in the league, finding that game speed because it's different, you know, in practice. Everything is, you know, 3 ticks slower. Finding that game speed, being able to see the plays, and then also being able to take a hit because, you know, tagging in pads, tagging in shells at practice is a large difference when that safety is coming over the top and you don't know what's going to happen. So I think that, you know, it could be a good fit, but I also worry about people's health because, you know, these days, for one, you know, the no preseason, all of that is going to be big, a big difference for the league this year. So I'm okay with it. He gets half of a check, but I definitely want, you know, him to be healthy and then also just to understand that it's not going to come back just like that, and then not to have these act outs that we have seen from him on Twitter and other social media platforms.
Good. She's right about that. He's going into a very structured environment. Here's a team that won, and they can win without him. He knows that. But I do like what he said, D-Dubs, when it came to the tweet or whatever he put on Instagram or Twitter the other day, which is basically, we got to run the ball 100 times. I'm all for it. Sign me up. That was mature right there. That shows that he wants to be back, and he's okay with whatever by any means necessary to move the ball offensively. D-Dubs, your thoughts on this? Do you like it? Dez going to the big crab cake down in Baltimore. Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
I personally think Dez is done because his last year, he had lost a step. He's not running by anybody. He's a big body receiver. Could he be a possession receiver 3 years out of the league? The Ravens want to run the football. Their quarterback wants to run the football.
He said he was okay with that. If they want to run it 1,000 times.
He's saying the right things. Maybe he's matured. Maybe he's humbled after 3 years not in the league, and he just wants to get back. Maybe he's humble. If you're Baltimore at the right price, you're not paying. I wouldn't pay him anything. Maybe give him an incentive deal possibly if you're going to bring him in. But that's going to be happy not getting the football because they're going to want to run the football. Their top receiver, Hollywood Brown, he put on a little bit of weight. He needed to put on some weight. He's the speed guy. They feature the tight ends in this offense. They got 3 good tight ends. Dez maybe could play the 2 spot, the second receiver. I don't know.
Good at the 2,
he's not going to be the guy.
I just worry about that mental behind it.
Yeah. No, Joe, you bring up some good points. I just like how you start out by saying, anytime you go, I'm like, okay, he doesn't like it.
I don't see how he helps them. He doesn't put them over the top. I don't see how he contributes. Is he gonna, maybe he could be a good blocker.
Gosh, Jarwin.
I don't know.
What about the veteran leadership in the locker room? That's also key to the field. So maybe that aspect.
Am I looking
for Dez for leadership? Am I really looking for Dez to lead?
No, but
maybe a young quarterback. I don't know.
But maybe that'll help him. It'll raise his level.
I'm just saying. Dylan, I hear it. Look, you made some very, very valid points. And Willie, jump in here. I don't think he can hurt. He's not asking for $10 million. No. Give him the veterans minimum. Maybe throw on some sweeteners on there. Some incentives that he can, sort of some benchmarks that he can hit. I don't think it's a bad thing to bring him in and see how he meshes. It seems like he has humbled himself by saying it verbally. I don't care if we run it 1,000 times. The guy just wants to play. He knows he's on his last legs. He knows this is it, my last little bit of time to shine and last maybe opportunity to play the game, last opportunity to make this kind of money. I'm sure he's made a lot of money in his league in his career. So I don't know if he spent it all or how much he's invested or anything like that. But hey, Willie, your thoughts? Do you like Dez down in Baltimore? I've got no problems with it. But Durbin did make up, or no, he didn't make up. He did come up with some good reasons why it probably shouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think he really affects them one way or the other down there. So for me, could he help them? Yeah. But if they get a couple of games in and they're like, you know what, this isn't going to work, and they let him walk, does that adversely affect them? No, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that you see when you have a running quarterback, which is part of, and I love Lamar Jackson, but that's part of the reason why the tight ends are so good is because most of the time when you have a running quarterback, their security blanket is their tight ends, right? So Dez at this point,
easier completion in the middle of the field,
right? And at this point in Dez's career, that's what I see him as, more as that possession receiver and using his body to get open. I don't necessarily see him using precise route running to get open, right? And the other thing too, to you guys' points, and I can say this as a person that's done this, and granted, I don't have access to the training that he has access to, but when you are a receiver and you may not have been very precise to begin with, and you tear your Achilles, that is something, and you're coming back. It's that's the one injury that in your back. That's probably the one injury where
it would be different if you're a smaller guy like myself or Julian Edelman. That's a quick slot type of a guy. So he's never been in and out of his cuts running a lot of option routes to begin with.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, if that's what you're going to do, right, and you have to be a little more precise, being that in the slot or being that second guy, and you're relying on those and planning and things with that Achilles, I just don't know how effective he can be with that, because again, as I was saying, in sports medicine here, we haven't quite got the back right, and we certainly haven't got the Achilles right. So those are things that I wonder about when I watch him attempt to come back, for sure. And then all the other things that you all reference where, do people really change if once that humility comes in? That's a fair question.
Good. Everybody, right now on the count of 3, we're going to throw up the X for Dez. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Throw it up for Dez, man. Throw it up for Dez.
I wanted to work.
I wanted to work too.
I wanted to work, man.
I like a good comeback story, and
Thank you.
The Achilles controls so much of your body, and it controls a lot of your mind. Like I've seen it ruin people, like
Sure.
ruin, because you don't have that same confidence that you had before it was gone. And confidence is 3/4 of the battle in sports.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
like, what it was like. What did G.I. Joe say? Knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle.
Confidence is half the battle. Hey, I like how Kelly, everything she does, she mentions speed. Like you can tell she's like a badass, and she's been, running by people her entire life. Everything is about speed with those girls.
That is my favorite sport in the Olympics. I love watching.
Oh, who doesn't like the 100
Man.
meters? Man, come on,
Especially watching the women run. I love it.
That's it. That's the event there. We'll keep it here. Speaking of fast, Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, with the fast. Hell no. We're not going back to. We're not going to revisit this when it comes to the Big Ten making the announcement last week that they were not going to play in the fall. I'm going to move things to the spring because of health concerns and protocols. I will say this. I did. Did y'all? I'm pretty sure you guys saw this too. In researching the story, he's got a son that plays at Mississippi State who will be playing. So got that little irony there. I want to get your thoughts on this. Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, saying not going to revisit it. No football in the Big Ten this fall. Don't care that Justin Fields and 100,000 people had signed petitions to get football in the fall. We'll start with you, D-Dubs.
He has to be firm. He doesn't want to waffle. He's a new commissioner, if I'm not mistaken. So he wants to be firm in his decision.
Yeah, just took over in like January.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's sad to me to see a lot of petitions and a lot of these other schools not accepting what he has put down.
Yes.
And I think part of it is that's disheartening, but part of it is you got a couple of schools like Ohio State and maybe a Penn State, some of these Big Ten schools that are very prideful, and they're sitting back seeing that the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 might be playing, and they're going to crown a champion, and we're going to sit here and watch this? I mean, I would be tight too.
Right.
Because they're like, if you're Ohio State, you're going to be sitting and going, how are they going to do this? We should be there. That's our trophy that they're giving away. So I get it. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really felt like the ACC will be the next one to fold up. And now you got UNC Chapel Hill with their virus popping up.
But you know what they did, right? They said, it's a better situation. They've got their own bubble now because there are no students on campus. They're playing football down south. I've been telling you that all
But listen, if there's no students on campus at Chapel Hill, how are you playing football?
And
Notre Dame too.
And Notre Dame is going to be playing the ACC schedule, and they got issues. So
you don't think they're going to play football in the ACC? You really believe that?
I'm looking at the commissioner like, what you going to do? We got a pandemic at UNC. How if it's not safe enough for the students to come on campus to go to class, how is it safe enough for the same students to come on campus for football? How is that? I don't understand.
Roll around, sweat on each other.
Sure.
That's exactly right. Don't ever call them student athletes ever again.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Don't ever call them that ever again.
And they know, see, sort of like Pandora's box has already been open with Neil and other things. All this stuff's going to be blown straight off the daggone lid. So they might as well get to the brass tacks right now. These guys are going to play. Nick Saban's already said it. It's stupid to play in the spring. Not my words, his words. He didn't call it stupid, but he said for all the reasons we talked about it. It's JV.
It's JV. And he's the godfather. So
I mean, look, you might as well just say shut the thing down. It's like what we talk about with COVID, right? And I agree with you. The health situation should take precedent over the economy. I think we all agree with that. But you can't tell people to stay at home for a year and say don't do nothing. Where's my check? I gotta eat. I gotta make a living. So you have to give me something to do. So and the SEC is telling you, don't tell me we can't play football. Check makes all our damn money.
Check.
What do you think
what are the players getting? They're not getting no check.
They're not getting a check.
They get a handshake. Come on, they know they get handshakes now. Stop playing.
That's not enough though. A handshake here and there, and then there's that. What is that? That Georgia State QB that contracted COVID, who has a heart condition that's not going to be able to play. Like that's going to affect him for the rest of his life.
I will push back just a little bit. There is a little science that suggests you can catch all this stuff in just the typical sort of physicals that you get. They're saying there really is, and they said what the Big Ten and the Pac-12 went off was a control group of 50-year-olds. There ain't no damn 50-year-olds playing college football. So I'm just being honest. I'm being transparent. Look, I agree. We gotta take this COVID thing serious. No one wants to take it more serious than me. Just don't tell me to stay home and do nothing and not give me a check. That's all I'm saying.
They staying home and they studying online.
Yeah, but the students aren't getting a check. So all of these universities are athletics that pushes classes on the side. That's it. Like that's where the money comes from. So this is about money, and it's not about these athletes. It is about the money for the university. So
that's exactly that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying
all of these athletes, we're putting all of these athletes at risk for what? Someone else to benefit from it. That's what bothers me. Someone else is benefiting from, I think back, like I was a collegiate athlete and this could have been me having to make this choice. I mean, I didn't play football, or if it's my son that did it, like now I think about like these big wigs making the check, or, thinking about my son's health for the rest of his life. Like, what do you do?
I would have more respect if they just came out and say, you know what, we need our players to get back to work.
That's basically
that's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Back to work.
That's exactly right.
Just be real.
You're right about that.
That's exactly right.
You're right about that. But that's what I'm saying.
Part of it,
I'll stop playing and let's just talk. Let's keep it 100. Like,
keep it all the way funky. That's it, right? because actually, I think part of the reason why, especially the Pac-12 was like, we're not playing, is because you also remember when those players decided that they want to mobilize about all the
boycotts. Yeah.
They needed some time to deal with it. What's going to be our response to this? So you know what? Our response is let's shut down the season so we can figure out how to respond to this. Because as you said, Larry, the train is now out of the garage now, right? There's no coming back. So we got to figure out how we deal with this because they will continue to apply pressure. So to me, that's another reason. I think that's one of the big reasons why they're sitting out. And they're saying, no, we're not going to play because we got to figure out how to respond to these guys. That's what I think.
Pac-12 just hired Merton Hanks, the former safety, all-pro safety with the 49ers, won the Super Bowl with the 49ers. Oh, yeah, he used to do the big work.
He needs to send Dion some checks.
He's on the Hall of Fame ballot this year.
He should make sure Dion gets a little piece of that jacket if he gets in.
That is true. We'll keep it in. We'll actually go from college football to another pro sport, hockey. We saw at the NHL still 0 test positive cases in the NHL bubbles, Edmonton and also Toronto. Now they're looking at protocols to get the family members in for the conference final. So not next round, the round after next, similar to what the NBA is doing. But man, have you read like what the families have to go through? 4, 5, 6, 7 days in their home market. Then you got to quarantine for like another 4 to 7 days in the hotel there. Then you could go get in the room with your boo. So it's like it's a 3-step process for you to get really real inside of the damn bubble.
Yeah.
But you know what? Right call.
I'm all for it. And then there's another part too. They got to ask Alberta, can they get the blessing? So the Providence of Canada, they got to ask him, hey, can we do this? Right? In a place where there, again, as we talk about universal health care, lower numbers from a COVID perspective than we have. So with that being said, like I'm all for them asking for all of that. And if I was the premier of the province of Alberta, I don't know if I would allow it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sorry.
I don't want that American smoke. I don't want it.
Agree. I'm with that.
Well, I mean, if you got the protocols and the guidelines, if you're Canada, look, you already got people there. You've had well over 10,000 tests, no positives. That's a pretty damn low number and a low bar.
It is.
Family members in.
Hey, I don't know, man.
But all it takes is that one.
We're just talking about. That's true.
Y'all seen the movies. You've seen the outbreak.
Hell, you're only going to have 4 teams.
No, I know, but all it takes is one, and then I'm for it, but I'm for the steps as well. I think you can.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the steps, and I'm okay with someone making the decisions to be like, you look a little sketch. Nah.
You know what? Kels ain't playing with this COVID. I can see him right now.
I'm not at all. I'm not.
And
I've
you
seen
and you
what
are a big bad like real athlete. And you're like, I'm not playing with this.
absolutely. I'm not playing. I've seen what it's done to our community. I've
Sure.
seen what it's done
Facts.
to people. I've lost people that I know to COVID. So I
Wow.
don't think that it's something to play with. And I think that in the media, until they realized who it really affected, it was a much bigger deal. Then they saw what communities it ravaged, and then that's when people were like, "Oh, let's
Oh,
go
okay.
back to
Yep.
work. Yeah, it's cool, you know."
I
And I
need
don't
my
want to wear a
haircut.
mask. Yeah, exactly. I need
Yes.
my nails done. Like, what? Baby girl, take relax. So, I'm very cautious, and I just think about like it's not so much me, but it is the people around me that it affects. Like I have a small child. He's 4, and he is. I work from home. I'm broadcasting from home. He is home with me. I don't send him out to school, to daycare, any of that, because it would kill me if something happened to him. Or
Sure.
to know that if I was out somewhere and I go and I infect my grandmother and she passes
Mhm.
away, or my mother-in-law, she passes away, like that, I don't want that on my conscience. I got enough on my conscience. So I don't need to carry the sickness or death of someone else. And I just feel
Mm.
like, as a society and as a community, I understand get back to work. I understand get back to play, because if I was an athlete, I talk to my friends that are Olympians, and their livelihoods have been shut down
Sure.
because
Yeah.
there is no 2020.
And
We
this is
don't
for an Olympian. You only get to do this every
Yeah.
4 years. This is
every
it.
4 years. We're only relevant one time every 4 years, and then it's only the premier athletes. So
Right.
I think about people who are on shoe contracts, and if you don't run X amount of meets, then you are reduced and you are cut. Well, where are the meets at? Europe's not letting us in. They're only letting this
Yeah.
many Americans in. So I understand and I get it totally. Part of what I do is broadcasting for USA Track and Field for NBC Sports. I can't work like that right now. So I get it. But the safety of my loved ones, the safety of my community, as a Black woman, I hold that very dear to my heart.
Mm.
And I don't want to be a catalyst for, anybody else. And if I could set the example for other people, if they could see Kelly slowing down, Kels is chilling, because I'd be everywhere.
Right.
And if they can see that she's chilling and she's not out, like maybe if I could help a couple people, then that's just a pay it forward.
A fast woman like Kale's one of the fastest women on earth. If she can slow down, I guess we all can slow down. You've actually turned me around. Like I'm like, all right, I'm chilling. I'm slowing down.
Get out the
Kale's
streets, Larry. Stay out the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry,
Dang.
everywhere.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit. The streets are not missing you. So just bring it in a little bit. Bring it in.
Kale, talk that talk. I see you, girl. We got.
Well,
Hey, I'm telling you now, you've earned the right to come back. We got to have you
I'm
back,
sick. So
man.
can I be in like the group chat now? Like did I make it like to that
You
threshold?
got now. I'm look. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We get sometimes a little crazy in the group chat. So as long as you're
Nothing
okay with
crazier
that.
than I could say.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Android
very
only. Android only.
yeah,
no, we
green
don't do.
text.
No.
Yeah.
Green text.
I know because of him, we got green
Yeah.
text because of him.
Yeah.
Do you even have
uh,
like an updated one with a good camera at least?
yeah, he does. No, he got a good camera. He got a good camera.
Okay, okay.
Real quickly, D Dubs, to get your thoughts. NHL family members potentially being brought to the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, probably for the conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, you're only going to have 4 teams. Probably the 4 teams will probably be Canadian teams. Everything.
No, you're gonna have Boston. Stop playing, man.
One out of 4, but the majority are probably Canadian teams. The way things are going right now.
Yeah.
And I said before that I thought the NHL, and they're a little bit farther along than the NBA right now as far as their playoffs. They had the best chance to start and finish, and they got to take the 14 days and however they want to break it up to make sure the people that are coming in are safe. They don't have.
It's like 11. It's not 14, but it's like 11 to 14.
It's
depends.
close. They're
It's
doing
close.
the right thing. And you have the majority of teams gone anyway. There's only going to be 4 teams left. So I'm all for it,
Good.
It's a good idea.
I think you're right on that. Real quickly before we get out here, we got about another 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna let Kelly fill us in on the MEAC Sports. My good buddy Isaiah, we talked with him. Blaze Fire Gaming doing this great deal with HBCUs, the MEAC, Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Kelly, you hooked up with Isaiah. You're going to be doing some broadcasting there. Fill us in. It's got all of the MEAC schools participating. You can play Madden, 2K, Smash Brothers, a couple other games. Tell us all about this endeavor between Blaze Fire Gaming and MEAC.
the black game community is humongous, and Hampton is no longer in the MEAC. We're in the Big South,
Yep.
but the MEAC is, I'm in the Hall of Fame there. Little flex.
Flex.
But
Big
but
flex.
yeah, I will always hold the MEAC near and dear to my heart, and the history of it is rich. And so we want to bring the premier gaming that we do to America. We have, a women's league because
Yep.
black women and
Hey.
women are overlooked when it comes to gaming. I Madden, I 2K,
Oh
I
yeah.
play Mortal Kombat. Oh yeah, like I mean, my husband played, sports, so we are super competitive. Like we have like he's not gonna beat me in a spitting contest or a staring contest.
Wow.
Like it goes
Okay.
down here. And so, to see that black women are gaming, to bring us to America, to show us that we are here, we are gaming, we have a presence in this. And, I remember over quarantine, that's what was on TV, esports. And,
Was.
For these black schools to, open up into gaming, but we're also teaching them about careers in gaming and, all of we got a little one. Careers in gaming and what
Oh.
happens when it
Let him let,
comes.
let him say hi.
Oh,
Get over here, buddy.
okay.
Oh, that's a big buddy.
He's
Isn't it? That's not a
he's
little boy.
4. Yeah, he's
24-hour
four.
job.
Hey, you can tell his dad's a linebacker.
Yep. This is
Yeah.
mom life,
And his mom, yeah.
mom life.
Nice.
But yeah, we're bringing this to America. We're opening up doors that weren't even there, teaching kids about careers in gaming, programming, what they could do with their degrees, what they can do with certifications, but also how to get down and have fun. So we're playing games across a couple of weeks. We are bringing this to all the schools in the MEAC, and we're trying to keep growing it. So it is just something that I'm so excited to be a part of. I'm so excited to broadcast, call these games. I'm even getting down in some of the games. So I told people like, and then I wanted to play with like the guys and the girls because I don't like gender lines. But I'm not allowed, so it's fine. So I'm just gonna broadcast because they said that I might beat them, and I don't want to make anybody feel less than. I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're doing, and I hope everybody gets to tune in. Visit, contact our pages, let us know how much you love it. Keep it going for us because it's something that we're trying to do to help our youth grow and show them that there's so much they can do with something that was once considered just a hobby.
Yeah, Blaze Fire Games, and we're talking about
Mhm.
it. You can join the women's gamers movement. We're showing pictures of you. You're a complete baddie. Back in the day, we're showing you from London
Whoa,
with your
whoa, whoa!
medal.
Wait, I'm a
Yeah.
baddie back in the
Well,
day.
I
So
mean, when
what
you
you
were
trying to say?
running, I'm not.
Like, what you
I'm
trying to
talking
say?
about. I'm talking about your athletic endeavors back in the
Oh,
day. You
okay.
were. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, because I'm still a stone cold fox. Like,
yeah. Okay.
don't
Okay. Okay. Hey,
please.
your husband is a middle linebacker. I ain't doing that.
He know
I
he
don't
knows
want
who
that
he
smoke.
married.
I
He
know. I
knows
don't
who
want
he
that
married.
smoke. All right, good stuff. Now, but we are showing some pictures, with your medal, with some other fans. We're showing pictures of the MEAC Esports, also Blaze Fire Games. Coach K, we've got Ivan Curtis. Is he on? Let's go ahead and bring in Ivan OG Curtis, guys, real quick. Talk a little NBA 2K League, the playoffs, NBA 2K League playoffs today. Uh, let's bring in the head coach and the GM, general manager of the Brooklyn Nets gaming crew, also co-host of Esports Extra. Just a great guy, man of the people. OG, you're on Esports Extra live, dude. How did it go today in that playoff game, man? Tell me my Nets are advancing. Let's unmute him.
Yeah, on mute.
Oh,
Coach K, OG, you there? There he is. OG, tell us, did you guys move on?
Unfortunately, we did, man. It was a tough out series. We lost the first game by 5, and then lost the second game by 2. They got an offensive rebound and put back with like a 0.6 of a second left in the second game. Yeah, it was tough. It was a good game. I mean, good series. I mean, tight. Their center, he pretty much dominated the series. I mean, typically in this league this year, centers. I mean, most of the time, if they got over 20 points a game, it's a bad night for you. So hats off to them. I mean, he played phenomenal.
Cool. We got some pictures here. We're showing some pictures from the NBA 2K League getting set for the playoffs. We see Chalk and all of those guys, man. What do you want to say about the season that you had, man? How proud of you of these guys to show some fight. Had a tough circumstance at the end of the season, won a few games in a row in the middle of the season, had some ups and downs, but ultimately got in the playoffs. You did come up a little short, man, but you got to be, at the end of the day, proud of this team. Is that correct?
Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, I'm proud of them. I mean, I hurt for them. It's 6 months doesn't seem like a long time, but I mean, it's long enough to create good bonds and see growth from the beginning to the end. We wasn't expected to be where we were today. Like I told them, I said, it's not about moral victories or anything like that, but we'll definitely exceeded expectations. And it's just something to build off of. I mean, we're going to, obviously take some time off, me and YL, assistant general manager, and just really assess the season and just look forward to building another playoff championship contending team next year.
When you take a look at this, you guys lost to the Hornets, Venom, new NBA 2K League team in Charlotte. Who do they match up with next, and how far do you think Charlotte can go?
They match up with the undefeated Raptors, uprising GC. So it's going to be, I think, of course, it's hard to speak against what the Raptors have done this season, but definitely, it's playoff time, and it's really not about who's better. It's about who shows up for the moment. And I think when you look at it that way, I mean, any team has a chance. I mean, I think your Hornets, I mean, they have to play very well, of course, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because, I mean, they do have some interesting components that I think could challenge the Raptors. But the Raptors are a great team, and definitely, you're going to have to show up and beat them because they don't beat themselves.
And they got good internet. Anything before we get out of here? Kelly, Derwin, we got Kelly Wells here, the 2012 Olympian, bronze medalist, also sportscaster for my company, NBC Sports. Hey, Willie, D-Dubs, K-Dub. Oh, we got a bunch of dubs on here. We're going to start calling you K-Dubs or K-Dub-B. Go ahead, Derwin, get in here.
Oh, man, OG, man, sorry to hear that you guys lost, but hopefully you guys could take a lot from the season and build going towards next year.
No, I appreciate it. Derwin. I mean, I think these guys learned a lot. I mean, I watched some of them grow up. I had players as young as 18 and as old as 23, 24. So, I mean, I've seen some growth in them. I mean, unfortunately, like I try to tell players that come into the league, it's a high turnover. 66% of the players, sometimes don't come back or they go to other teams. So anytime you step on a virtual court, you're playing for your future. And I think it's important that they have to learn how to become professionals fast and quick and to be able to have a long-lasting career.
Got it. D-Dubs, any last thoughts? Anything?
I'm good.
I mean, hey, Willie, anything?
No, I was just saying, great job, OG, and exceeding expectations, man, and certainly looking forward to what you do next year for sure, and build off of this this success that you were able to attain this year for sure.
Appreciate it. I'll tell you this, management, they're really happy about what we accomplished this season. So sounds like inking that contract again, so I'm pretty ecstatic about that.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
That's
right
a
there.
win. That's a win.
Sir. That's what I'm talking about, OG.
We gotta get some of that Dom, man. You buying for everybody?
we need to set that up though, for real. We need to set that up. I done already missed out this year, so we gotta do something when I'm not in season.
Okay, we got you. K-Dubs, any last thoughts? NBA 2K League before we get out here? Any questions?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, one loss doesn't define your career. It doesn't define a season. It builds character. From somebody who's taken some losses, there's a learning lesson, and I think that you should be proud of all that you've done, especially because you exceeded the expectations. And one thing I always try to impart is, like, one loss, yes, it may be super disappointing, but it does not define all of the beauty that you created. So congratulations and good luck on the future. keep breaking those ceilings, and don't worry about no haters. We won't have those, so don't worry about it.
Good stuff.
I appreciate it. Hey, nothing more comforting than words from a sister, I tell you.
Oh, good
Oh, I
stuff.
got
That's
you
right.
all day.
Facts.
I got you.
Facts.
Hey, OG, good stuff, man. We'll see you Sunday here on Esports Extra, man. Great job with that team, man. We know behind the scenes there was a lot you had to unpack and a lot you had to deal with, man. But you were a leader for those young men, and a great job by you, man, getting them to the finish line, brother. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Sunday, okay, broski?
Yes, sir. I got y'all hoodies and hats too.
Oh, baby, about damn time. All right, we'll see you on Sunday, bro. Take care, man.
All right, OG.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all take it easy.
Sir.
All right, that was the OG, Ivan Curtis, 2 S's on that Curtis part. Head coach, general manager of the NBA 2K League's Brooklyn Nets gaming crew, losing in the playoffs today to the Charlotte Venom down there, the Charlotte Hornets NBA 2K League team. So, guys, real quickly before we get out here, compete forever real quick. Coach K on Black News Channel this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern, both times, 6 p.m. Eastern, leading right into the national primetime news for Black News Channel. So, very good time slot for us. We got the Polk State College NBA 2K Championship. Myself, Renee Montgomery on the call there. We had 6, I think 4 or 6. I think it was top four guys at Polk State College playing for $1,000 there. Had some really good games, actually. Some good trash talk there. Had some good interviews afterwards as well. See who is the baddest dude on campus, the BMOC, big man on campus at Polk State College. Down there, not too far where me and Kelly used to hang out in Lakeland, Florida, out there in Central Florida. So watch that this Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, Black News Channel, Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, and also Charter Spectrum Cable Systems there. Any last thoughts before we get out of here? I said an hour 15 minutes. We went 3 minutes heavy. I got to get out of here, guys. Any last thoughts? Anybody?
Thanks for having me.
Well, since you had fun, can we expect to see you again maybe Sunday?
Come anytime. Yeah, I'm here.
Don't say anytime because we will call you.
See, I'm not the one in the streets. Like, I'm in the house. So
hey, I'm not hot now. Don't make me seem like I'm hot. I'm not out in the streets being hot.
I didn't see that's a personal projection. I didn't say anything about that. I just said in the streets.
Well, you know what they say, the streets are talking. I'm just got my ear out there like, what?
Keep your name out the streets then.
Hey, Kelly, you will not let me wriggle off that hook, will you? I like it. That's why we need women on here to keep us in line, man.
I hold people to the fire. That's what I do.
It does. And you know what? It bites a little differently when it comes from you than when it comes from one of these knuckleheads. So. Good stuff, man. Hey, I love you guys, man. Coach K back there pushing all the right buttons. We got A. Willie minus the hoodie down there. In the DFW. We'll see him on Sunday. Got D-Dubs down there still drinking out of the fountain. When are you coming back to the city, man? You've been down there for like 2 months, man.
Sometime next month, probably around Labor Day, I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. Bring some of that water with you, man. That water.
Yeah, got it right.
It is.
That Ponce de Leon water.
Yeah.
All right. And we got the new sister. We got another queen of esports extra. We got 2 queens now with the baby boy, the young king. The young prince there, the king is running around the house probably. Jasper's somewhere in the back doing something. But K-Dubs, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. You are talented. You're very good at what you do. And girl, you got some hot takes, damn it. We like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is so much fun. So much fun.
We'll see you Sunday.
Sunday, I'm here.
1 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk Saturday. We'll get you the rundown, and we'll see you Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Tuesday.
You said what?
All right.
Tuesday.
What about Tuesday? What about Tuesday? Oh, you want Tuesday? What about Tuesday?
You got a busy weekend.
Oh, that's right. I'm not even, dude. I'm 1 day at a time right now, bro. I'm 1 day at a time, bro. Yeah. So we'll try to get Kelly on Sundays and Thursdays. We're trying to work out some deals, guys. Get this, on some, other streaming services, maybe even a, TV thing. So I'm working behind the scenes on just like we do with our esports stuff. So I'm working. We're all going to grow. And I appreciate all you guys. But I got to go. I got to get some food, and I got to watch the Lakers lose again.
Hey, no, wait, hey, watch that. Watch that. Hey, watch that. Watch those words. NBA draft lottery tonight, too.
That's right. You know
what?
Actually,
Yeah.
Dude, I was supposed to have – I had it in the lot. Did I have
10 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
Did I have it in the
You did, but you skipped it.
I did skip it. Coach K, throw it up real quick. Draft lottery.
We
Go right here. Who's going to get the ping pongs? Who's going to get it? Suns? Who's going to get it? Knicks?
Golden State.
Golden State.
Golden
Bulls.
State. Golden State. Golden State.
Golden State.
Bulls, and who else? It's 3 teams with 14% chance. Minnesota, maybe?
Minnesota. Yeah.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Atlanta's up in there too.
Atlanta's up there. I want to get somebody with Ice Trey, man, down here in the A. That'd be nice. So y'all think Golden State's going to get the top pick?
I think Golden State's going to get it.
Wouldn't it be good if the Knicks, for the first time since 1985, I think they've been in the lottery 10 times since then and have not moved up at all in the draft positioning in the lottery.
They won't keep the pick. They'll screw it up anyway. Who cares?
He's right.
They're going to screw it up.
When you're right, you're right.
They traded for some 32-year-old guy. I mean, I can't trust nothing.
If you look pouring cold water on something in the dictionary, that is Derwin. He pours cold water on everything.
I'm with it, though. He's a realist, and I'm with it.
Oh my gosh! You are not going to be on the show agreeing with Derwin.
He's a realist.
Oh my gosh! See, I'm gonna tell you a little secret, Kelly. We all get off on piling up on Derwin. We all like agree, and he's like the one that's the outsider there, the agitator. But no, he does make a lot of sense. But
I've always been a black sheep. I've always been the black sheep, so I'm fine
you
with
and Derwin
that.
gonna get along very well.
And we're both in Texas. I'm in Houston, so we're all right.
Okay, all right, good stuff. All right, good stuff. All right, guys, thanks for watching. For Coach K, Kelly Wills Brinkley, A. Willie, D. Dubs down there drinking and Fountain Youth. I'm Larry Ridley, SNY TV, little NBC Sports, little Mandolin FL, little NBA 2K League. We'll see you Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. esportsXTRA, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. Thanks for watching. See you Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Be good, everybody, from the